Hey everyone, welcome back. So if you saw the bloom, I am actually still trying to paint before I clean up my mess. And I want to try these Texas coasters that I made. So these are cut using my laser with acrylic. They are, I want to say they're probably about 4.5 inches. So like the surface, you know. Here's a cup just to give you perspective. But what I like about these is I cut them with the paper on. So before we pour on them, you can either heat this up with your heat gun to kind of loosen it up, or just take like something sharp and peel up the corner of this tape. I don't know if it's actually tape. Well, it's more like cling wrap of some sort. Anyway, peel up the paper, and then you can paint on it. I just also realized in that bloom that I did not tape the back of my board. What a goober. So whoever buys that painting, it's going to be messy in the back. I usually tape the back and then resin it with the tape on and then heat up the tape. That helps me have a clean surface. Anyway, this is what this looks like. So then once you finish these, you resin them or whatever, you just heat this up or do the same thing, peel it off, and your resin drips are gone. Clean back. I will probably, you don't have to put a backing on these, but I usually save the file I cut them with, and then I cut felt backs. With the felt has adhesive just to keep it from sliding and all that. But I want to try these because it's an odd shape. So if I do a regular bloom, it's obviously going to potentially be challenging, not over here, but over here. The other option I could do is I could do like a center swipe, or a swipe like this way and this way. So I kind of just want to see like what's the best way to use these. And since I have this paint out already, I thought, well, why not, right? The only thing I might change is I might swap out one of the colors I used for a different color. It depends on how thick it is. If it's too thick, then maybe not. Although I really like this color now that I look at it. So this is the color. I have a whole little pot of it, and it's thickening up, and I haven't used it. So this color is a nice, almost like a seafoam green. This would look really beautiful with a deep, rich blue, like a Payne's gray or a blue black, and maybe, or maybe like a teal indigo, or even a turquoise, or a royal blue, like a phthalo blue or ultramarine. But this is way too thick. So you saw how much stuff I just put in that, and it's still very thick. So obviously, if we don't use this, we're going to lose it. And it's an entire 2 ounces or whatever of paint. So sorry to deplete the Jo Sonja, but so this is called Tourmaline, which I think I already said. This is a Colourarte primary element. Also, I mixed it up when the set came out, whenever that was, and here we are. So what I'm thinking we'll do is use this instead of the Tangerine Dream, and we will not do the Rouge Violet. I think that's probably okay. It's going to be hard to blow it out though if it's thicker. Okay, we'll try it. It might need a little bit more of this. That's a lot of Jo Sonja to waste on some paint. So now we definitely need to use it. But it's a beautiful, like, I don't know how well you can see that. It's a nice, almost like a sea foam with a, like almost a tinge of a grayish color. Anyway, I'm not making any sense. It's okay. And if you wanted to, here's the fun thing about painting is you can always adjust this. Like if you wanted it to be a little more aqua or a little bit more blue, you could separate this into another little container, and you could add like a drop of Vivid Intense or Purely Pigments, and you could alter your color. You could actually make several different colors out of this one. This would also be nice with a purple, which is actually not a bad idea. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the Rouge Violet that I have out. I'm going to get a cup. I will be right back. Getting paint all over me. Okay, I'm going to use, I think I'm just going to continue to use this Walmart paint just because I already have it right here. and I might as well use it up. And so yeah, I'm a little nervous. I don't know how this is going to pan out. So I think I'm going to use the Cobalt Turquoise, the blue-black, this Tourmaline color, maybe a little bit of this Titan Light Blue, and a white cell activator, and kind of see. So the first one, I would like to be maybe a little cautious about how much paint I squander, because I don't have the foggiest idea how this is going to turn out. And I may have to pivot and do a swipe instead. So my thought is take this, and then you will, when you're painting with something that's an odd shape like this, you kind of need to guide your paint, because you need to help your paint spin in the right direction. Plus, if you don't get everything fully covered, the white negative space is not like a bad thing, right? So I have a feeling the bloom will be challenging, but the swipe will be doable. So let's see. Both would be pretty, so that's okay. So this is the blue-black. Oh, whoa, that's way too much paint. It came out like that. My husband is building things. If you hear the saw, that sound always makes me nervous. So this is the Tourmaline. Again, way too much paint. I'm so not used to doing coasters only anymore, so when I start to do them, it's like, whoa, calm down with the paint. A little bit of this. I don't want too much of this because it's, hey, that was way too much. I bumped it. I'm going to try to blow this with my mouth, and I want all these colors to show. So then this is the Cobalt Turquoise, and I'm going to do a little bit more blue-black. So I'm going to use a white cell activator, so I like the contrast. Yikes. What is up with my paint, you guys? You guys that have normal winters must deal with this all the time. It's like I just mixed it and it's like already seizing up. Well, I didn't just mix it, but I just freshened it up. Okay, I'm pretty nervous about this. All right. But, you know, worst case scenario, we pivot, we scrape it, do a swipe instead, you know? Whew, okay. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. Whew. Very lightheaded trying to blow today. Like, it's not terrible. I need to stop messing with that. I'm just making it worse. I made this super wonky. I used too much cell activator too, so the center has a bunch of it. So it was achievable, but I didn't do a great job on the blow. And the fact that I kept messing with it, and there's like a pile of paint in the middle. I'm gonna spin it, but I think swiping is gonna be the way to go with these. We'll see. So then let's talk about swiping. So you can do this a number of ways. You can put all of your paint where you have the bulk of surface, which would be over here, and swipe like a sheet. You can put your paint, like you can line your paint up, and then you can do like, you could do negative space swipes with a little palette knife. So there's a lot of things you can do. I am not crazy about how this one turned out. So I just want to give you an idea of what it would look like, because it's hard to tell. See, like, I don't like that. So I think we can do better. But what I do think we will do is, rather than like totally wasting this paint, I think I will I'm trying to think of how it would look if I swiped it and had like some negative space. So that's what's making me rethink this a little bit. I don't like to do this because you introduce bubbles, but this is a test. Karen from Waterfall does a great job reusing her paint without introducing bubbles, so I try to pay attention to what she does, but I do not always succeed. But but I also don't want to waste paint because this is an experiment. So now, here's the other challenge. My only, well, that's not true. I was going to say my only knife that is flat is huge, but I have this here. So I think what will work well is load the color either on the knife, which may be the most genius thing to do, and then just, or lay it down, and then I think the easiest to control is going to be on the knife. So here's our cell activator. So let's try it. It's also the least likely to waste a ton of paint. So here's our cell activator. So when you do reverse palette knife swipes, which I'm no pro, but it's easy to get too much cell activator on them, and then you lose kind of like your good cell composition. So, and that's really true of anytime you're loading your palette knife, just swipe. All right, so now I'm going to do some blue black. This will probably be a lot more faint than if we had done a bloom, but I think it'll be cool. And we're going to do some of this Cobalt Turquoise. I think I'm going to skip one of the colors, which is the Titan Light Blue, and then do this Tourmaline color, which thinned out nicely after all. All right, now, and I may have to do this twice, but we'll see. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to do this. Let's see. Now, I tried to get it in one fell swoop. That may not be the best way to do it, but we'll see what develops. We definitely have better odds this way. Now it's hard to tell like what the composition is because of kind of where it is on the cake spinner. I think my favorite way to use these weird shapes is to do resin smooshes because they always turn out cool and then you don't really have to worry about the shape. But I think this could work. So we have a little bit of negative space right up here that looks a little funky. And this probably looks real funky to you because you can't see where the Texas shape is, so you'll have to bear with me for a second. But I think they'll be very soft, but I think they will work. Okay, let me do something real quick. There's a little bit of a dirty corner up here. It just needs a little bit of help. Like we need this to go off the edge. So by dirty, I mean like muddy. I don't mind the negative space. I just don't want it to look like it's messed up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give it one more fairly good spin. I want to leave enough paint on, but not like too much. But because we swiped it and didn't like blow it, I think we're probably safe. So let me show you kind of what it looks like. You could also do these like with negative space. You could do them with like a colorful background. but that's what it looks like. I think it's cute. Is it perfect? Nah. But, you know, there's some shimmer in there that might be a little bit difficult to see right now. But there is, it's a nice color combination. It's simple, right? Like if we had done too many colors, we would have had so much paint. I think I better not do that. But can you guys see it? I probably need to zoom, but I have too much stuff on my hands. So I may have to show you once I set them over there to dry. But I think it's cute. Like it's got some, like a pop of color here, some more subtle color up here, which, you know, for coasters, I'm not much on the subtle sometimes with my blooms, but for coasters, it's very appropriate. Sometimes people just want like a little accent of color in their homes. So I think I'm just going to try to finish out this set by doing the same thing. So my hands are too dirty. to pause the camera, so I'm going to have to edit that out later. But let me just put this away real quick. Actually, I'll just put it in here for now. And then the only bad thing about this is I will pre-peel all of those little Texas guys. So that's going to make this take longer. But so the other thing is I had a thought and it left me. Like if you're a brush painter and you actually can do brush painting, you can also like flat coat these white and then use it as a brush canvas. I am not a good brush painter, like at least not that I have ever discovered. I was going to use the paint that's on there, but I think I'm just going to let it sit right in the middle and then drizzle again. And I may only do a couple of these on camera and I may do the others off camera and then just show you. But every time I do that, something like awesome happens and I don't film it, you know what I mean? Which is lame. Like you have like the best swipe or bloom ever and you're like, oh, the one I turned the camera off. So sometimes I just ramble on, and I actually don't mind long videos. I know everybody in the social media, YouTube world wants everything to be, you know, shorter, and I get it. But like sometimes when you're watching somebody figure this stuff out, it's a little bit easier to follow their thought process and all that and just watch it. But we all feel the pressure of make it go faster, you know what I mean? So, cell activator. That seemed to be a decent amount, not too much, not too little. Now we're going to do the same exact thing. And like, I don't mind if some places have less color than others. That doesn't really bother me. So I'm hoping we're not losing the tourmaline in the big, ooh, look what I did. Well, there's that. I think the tourmaline will show a great deal once it's dried in resin, just because that's when, but I really like this color even more than I realized. Okay, so let's start here. I messed that one up pretty badly. We'll see. I bumped myself when I was twisting around. This part is really faint. But I kind of like how subtle they are. I just don't know if we have enough movement all the way around on this one. Like we have a lot right here. It's very, very faint here. I think my hand was a little heavy when I was swiping. So I know, but they're, you know, like you can kind of tell where I twisted and went like that. I need to be careful. I have paint all over me. But it kind of works. Like, I don't know how to describe, but it kind of works because you've got like this pop of color and then it's subtle, which is kind of what happened with the other one. So like, if you were looking at these and you didn't know what we were trying to do, you might be like, huh, you know, how clever of them to do that. Oops, sometimes the shape looks like a bubble and it's part of the, so I'm over here trying to pop it and messing it up. So let me lift it up. I don't know, like you guys have to tell me. I sometimes struggle with wanting composition to be really even and all that. So sometimes when it's very abstract, I'm like, but I always like it when other people do it. So the other thing that you could do doing these, which would be fun, is do transfer blooms on them. Or like transfer swipes, which I think that's actually quite genius to try. The only thing that makes me a little bit nervous is every once in a while the paint like lets the acrylic show through, and the acrylic is black, so it's not like it's orange or something crazy, but I'd rather it cover it well so that it doesn't peek through, but it's trying to peek through in this area over here, just because it has sharp edges. And if you're a paint pourer, you know sharp edges are challenging for surfaces. Like even when I buy like MDF or wood panels, if they have a hard edge, I sand it. But if it's just on the side, I think it's fine. So this is what it would look like. Again, very soft and subtle over here, a little pop of color over here. I think I can live with it. The first one had more overall coverage, so just setting this down over here for now. And I'm going to try to do 2 more. And I think if I kind of try to do something similar as what we did with these 2, that would kind of work, because it looks like we did it on purpose. But I just don't think it has to be that uniform, you know? So, okay, so I'm gonna peel the tape off the front of this one. I cut on the laser, I cut a wood shape Texas the other day that has the kind of the shiplap pattern on it. I don't know if by the time this comes out, if you'll see what I did with the Christmas trees and the hearts that have that. Anyway, but it's like between 10 and 12 inches, so it's more of a wall or a door hanging, but it has like the shiplap pattern, and you can cut the little shiplap pieces and you can paint them individually, or you can like decoupage them and then paint some of them. So it's going to be very cute. I just haven't cut the pieces yet, but I'm excited. You know, it's not every state is very cute shaped, but Texas is a cute shape. So here, I think we can do this a little bit, save some of our paint. Plus we might actually introduce some color on here. It will probably introduce some bubbles, but again, this is just kind of giving us a little way to support the extra paint that's needed for this, because obviously we load these a little bit more to make sure that they get covered. But I think that also introduces a lot of the the negative space problems that we keep having. You're like, you're having those by yourself. Okay, so I'm going to load the palette knife again. I do love that you can do fun shaped coasters. I don't always have time to really enjoy the process, but like I made some for Casey before she got her laser. I made her some like acorn shapes and pumpkin shapes, and then I didn't really even have time to test them to do like some fall pumpkin ones. That would be really cute. I just didn't have time. Like I thought I would, but I didn't. And I thought about doing some snowmen or Christmas trees at Christmas. I had so much Christmas stuff to finish. I just didn't have time to be like cutting them and vetting them. So I'm going to have to do that kind of stuff throughout the year. But I also think about like how often are people going to buy like Christmas tree or snowman coasters that they only use for, but some people do. Some people go all out for every season. So, you know, you saw that thing tried to creep out there. All right, now we're going to do the tourmaline. And messy, messy, here we come. Okay, whoa, not good. That might have been one of the best yet. So if you didn't catch that, I started down here, twisted up here, came down here, just like that. Actually had really good coverage. So now on the last one, we probably need to have some more negative space so that it doesn't make that other one look funny. So this one will be a little bit more like the first one. Right. Okay. And this one had a lot more blue. The other ones, by the time everything kind of smooshes together, you get a lot more of the green. This one, you see a little bit more of the blue-black, so you get a little bit more of that nice, deep blue. That's one of the things I like about blue-black, is it's almost like a deep, like, deep green blue. Like, it's not a green blue, but there's definitely some green hints in it. And so it's sort of like getting a nice, deep color, deep marine type blue. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. There's a huge bubble. right here. It's not that bad. So I like these. So I think a transfer bloom on these would be fun. Obviously, it would be completely different. The cells would probably be bigger. So I think what I would do if I was going to do a transfer bloom, because I haven't done one in forever, would be I would just completely cover the surface and then just transfer it wherever, because you're not going to, well, you might be able to do a sheet transfer across. We might have to try it. But this is really nice, and we still have a nice watercolor effect over here, so it's not super color saturated everywhere, which I kind of think works well for these because of the weird shape. Where did my thingy go? Okay. And I'm going to try to do a flyover when I set these down to dry so that you guys can kind of see the color, because the camera that I'm using to film is connected to my laptop, so I can't like bring the camera down like I can my phone. So I try to do the close-ups with my phone. Okay, so kind of looks like a phthalo green that's been darkened because of the combination of the cobalt turquoise and the blue. But that tourmaline color is in there. You can't really see it from your angle yet, which is why I want to show you a close-up. But I think when they're resined, that would be really cool. I also think tourmaline would look really great with like a diox purple or a blue violet type purple, because green and purple are complementary colors. And if it peeks through, it would look really neat. So, okay. Now I need to go set this down, but that's what this one looks like. Very soft, but I like it. And my hands are covered in paint, and I'm trying to figure out how to open cabinet doors and stuff without messing anything up. This is how paint gets everywhere. It's me, it's my fault. Alright, I'm just setting this one down and we'll do the last one. It is trying to drip over here from the other ones. But so far, they're looking pretty nice. And even if that one has more negative space than its friends, I think it's going to be okay, because they all have a little bit, you know? It's not completely negative space either. It's anyway, I'm rambling. But I hope that you guys, I've had these cut for 6-8 months. I just haven't actually taken pictures of the blanks to do an Etsy listing. But you can purchase these blanks from me, or the heart-shaped blanks, or the, you know, I can cut round ones, like square ones. The square ones have a rounded edge. But I just need to do the Etsy listing. I haven't done it yet. These are a lot of fun. I do not have the ability to cut clear because I don't have a CO2 laser. I am hoping the XTOOL will let me test their new one, because there's a lot I could do with CO2. But until they do, I will rock on with my S1. If you are in the market to get a laser, I love my XTOOL, and I love working with XTOOL. They are a great company. They're very innovative. They're always paying attention to the market. And I do have my link in the description box below. If you are a laser user, you can also get supplies from them. They run really great deals sometimes. I also buy, I have discount codes for some of the suppliers. I get my black acrylic from Houston Acrylic most of the time. And some of my wood I get from Maker Stock, which is, there's a discount link in there. But I also buy wood from like H&H, and G2S or GS. I always mix that up. I think it's G2S. So there's lots of really good suppliers out there. If they offer an affiliate program where I can get you a code, I always do, but they don't always offer that. So, okay, last but hopefully not least, these are fun. I haven't had a lot of time to paint, and I'm trying to get a bunch of new like laser listings up, and so I've got stuff that I cut before Christmas, and I never had time to actually finish it. So sometimes I have to like finish projects versus painting something new. I have a geode I've started, and all I've done is put some glass down. It's not even all the way down. So I and I have a wonderful resin company that sent me some resin to test, and I haven't had a chance to, so it's just been very busy. I'm trying to be a little bit more strategic about how I do it, but with school, just to give you some background, I just finished my comprehensive exams in November, and so now I'm working on like a dissertation proposal, and so, you know, things are a little bit crazy from all of that work. You know, it's just not super easy or quick to do all of it, and sometimes you get just slammed and overwhelmed, you know, so, and I have a job, so there's that. Okay, I think this actually turned out perfect, because even though I didn't do a terrible job swiping, I have a lot more white here, and considering that that's what we have with the other one, that's a little bit different than this one, I'm kind of good with that. So let's spin it. And now I really want to try the transfer bloom idea. I do feel like that would waste a lot more paint though, you know, because like you would be transferring an entire bloom onto a 4-inch coaster. I think it might make more sense to do like tiny transfer swipes, or just do negative space swipes with really small palette knives. This is the longest video. I just realized I have been talking to you guys for 37 minutes, so this is probably going to be voiced over for sure. Or I'll turn myself into a chipmunk. I kind of like what's happening down here. It's almost like we have like water in the coastal region, because this is where the coastal region would be. Not intended, but very cool. Just in time. All right. Now, I'll show you this one. It's pulling this direction. Oh, leave it alone. It's not a big deal. Well, at least we know that they work. Like, we can swipe them. I don't know. I think if I tried to do blooms on them, I would just get frustrated. Now, if I was a super good blower, like Shelly or somebody that can just like, and it's all spread out nicely, that might work. But the problem is, it doesn't even matter if you're really great at blowing. If your paint falls down in that crack, what's that going to do for you, you know? We have some cool ghost cells. You can't really see them. We have some cool ghost cells right there. Tav, quit scratching, bud. My dog is scratching. Hey, psst. Stop it. I just blew that little harsh green over the edge. Okay, I think I like them. You guys have to let me know what you think. Again, these will be available once I resin them, but you have to let me know if you are looking for the blanks. You can email me. The email's in the description box, and I can cut them for you. I just haven't done the listing yet, so, but I will try to show these to you after I clean up my mess a little bit. Unfortunately, the black is trying to show on the edges in some places, but it is what it is. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll bring you down for a close-up so you can see them up close. Okay, so it's still difficult to see, but you can see the shimmer right there. Sorry. Sorry, you can probably hear the stuff in the garage. But nice, like, faint little cells. They look kind of beachy. This is the one with all the negative space. We're still not getting a good angle where you can see the tourmaline right there. And I may be zoomed in too much. I love those little ghost cells. This is the one. Well, we actually have two that have a pretty equal amount of negative space. And then this is the first one. But I like them. I think they turned out nicely. To let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.